Welcome, friends. I would invite you just to settle in. And before we do anything, I would encourage you to get comfortable. So often we show up to meditation or we stop our activity and try to be still, and we kind of force the mind, or we attempt to force the mind just to be quiet. But we haven't even attended to the body yet. So let's just pause and be comfortable. If you're seated, just get really cozy where you're seated. If you're lying down, just stretch out and feel supported. Just soften through all those spots that tend to be a little tense. Soften the shoulders. Relax the jaw. Release the fingers from the hands. Let the feet just kind of rest. And then once you let the body get comfortable, just notice how you feel. How do you feel after a busy day? How do you feel with all the activity that you were doing just before this moment? And just really honor that. Meditation doesn't ask us to show up as the best versions of ourselves. It just asks us to show up. And so be so accepting and so loving of how you've shown up today. And then let's begin to settle, just unifying our breath together. So take a slow, deep breath in and a full, deep breath out. And a slow, deep breath in and a full, deep breath out. And one more time together, breathing in and breathing out. And then just notice how the breath really transforms the moment, how it softens the things that still may need to be softened a bit. And again, just honor that here you are. Honor that you've shown up. We're on this journey together for the next several times, this journey of understanding peace. Understanding that Sanskrit word of shanti. And I have a feeling that if I were to survey anyone in any country across this planet, there's no one in all of the 8 billion that would say they didn't want peace. But I think that there are also many in their own language and their own culture that would try to explain that, yes, I want it, but it seems really unattainable. All they see are the circumstances around them. All they see are the struggles, and peace seems elusive. I sat with a friend last night, just truly yesterday, as he told me the story of one more family member that he's tried to help leave Lebanon. That's his homeland. That's where he's from. It's where his family still lives. And I was watching his heart just break as he talked about the worry for these family members that just can't find a way out. And so I understand that we see so much around us that we think that peace is unattainable, but on this journey that we're on together, what I'd like us to do is uncover the true possibility of it. I'd like us to uncover these pathways that help us to find that peace is not only possible, it's actually right there. It's just been covered up by the terrible acts that we see around us. And so I thought, as we head into this journey, that we need to consult the experts. And I cannot think of a more perfect expert to turn to when it comes to peace than Mother Teresa. I cannot remember a single time that I ever saw her face in a magazine or watched her on television in a newscast or saw pictures of her when I didn't see the glow of peace on her face. Always. It was always there. She sat and she ministered to so many that were struggling. She saw human life at some of its worst points, and every time I saw her face, I saw peace. And so then I thought about this concept that we have in yoga, these things called mudras. these gestures that are designed to shift the energy, to change the attitude, to transform the perspective that we see with. And so I'd invite you just for a second just to bring your hands together at heart center and let your thumbs just press into your sternum right there at your heart as you bring these hands into what we call Anjali Mudra, the prayer hands. And I don't know about you, but as soon as my hands come right up there and my thumbs press into my heart, there's just this beautiful second where things feel okay. I feel connected to my heart. I feel connected to source. There's just something about that gesture that shifts my energy, that changes my attitude, that transforms my perspective. And I was recently in a class with this beautiful teacher from India who was teaching us about mudras. And she said, I need you, before we get into all the movements of the hands, I need you to understand the most important mudra. And of course, all of us get our pens ready to write it down. She's about to tell us the most important one. She said, the most important mudra has nothing to do with your hands. The most important mudra is the smile. Nothing shifts your energy like that. And so then I thought about these mudras and this example of Mother Teresa, and I remembered this quote that she is so often attributed to saying that says, peace begins with a smile. Peace begins with a smile. Peace begins with the smile that can shift the energy, that can change the attitude, that can transform your perspective. And so just remember at some point today or in the last few days, the last time that someone smiled at you, I would bet anything that you smiled right back. It creates this connection for a split second between two people where all the walls are broken down, all the barriers are gone, the divisions, the hatred, all those things, they stop for that split second just because of a smile. And I believe Mother Teresa's words. I believe that she didn't set out to be this champion of peace with all the service that she did. I believe that she smiled at someone, began to minister to them, and then she became this instrument for peace that still, years after her death, we're talking about. And I think that if she were here, she would say that it's attainable for you and me as well. And so what I'd like us to do is I'd like us to practice this cultivation of peace. We're going to have many chances in the coming days to really dig in and try to discover this seemingly elusive idea of peace. And each time we'll practice seeing it, cultivating it, believing that it exists, believing that it's accessible. And so for each of us, I would challenge us to picture a person with whom we've got some struggles. Not someone from a long time ago, but someone currently in your life. And they don't have to be big, traumatic struggles, or they could be. But someone that you're having a hard time being around. You don't agree with their decisions. You don't like the choices that they've made. They disappoint you. They've hurt you. It can be any situation. They can be related to you. They can be at work. They can be anywhere. But someone that in the coming days you will probably interact with. See their face. Sometimes in meditation, I'll give us a mantra and I'll ask us just to chant it again and again in our quiet time, just to practice whatever the meaning of that mantra is, whatever the vibration is intended to communicate to us. And so today I'd like us to practice a mudra. I'd like us to practice the mudra of smiling, which we know Mother Teresa says is the starting point for peace. But I'd like us to practice it while we see that face, while we see the face of the person that we're struggling with. And so what I want us to do is just see them. Don't see the behaviors. Don't see the stuff surrounding the relationship. Just see the face. And then as we just sit in the quiet, I'd like us to smile. And then you'll take a breath in and you'll smile again. And then over the course of these next couple of minutes, we'll just practice starting peace between us and them. And there may be a moment during this practice that you will get uncomfortable and it will feel a little overwhelming because your mind will go to the spot where you remember the behaviors, or your mind will go to the spot where you recall what they've done or the choices they've made. And when that happens, bring those hands to heart center and practice that mudra. Reconnect to your heart with those prayer hands. Breathe there. And then practice seeing their face again. Breathing in, see their face. Breathing out and smiling. So let's just practice that. One breath in, one breath out at a time. And as you continue to breathe and be and see that face, I would encourage you to check in and see how you feel. And if that was hard, that is okay. And if you feel like you got it for a few seconds and then you lost it because it hurt your heart, that is okay. But when someone smiles and the other person smiles back, for that moment, that split second, the division goes away. The discord melts. The conflict stops. And so who's to say that that split second can't turn into another, and then another, and then another? And I know that we're all waiting for these difficult people in our life to do the right thing and to apologize and to meet our expectations. But what if we decide that we'll be the instruments of peace? We'll be the ones that smile. We'll be the ones that believe that not only is peace attainable, that we'll do anything in our life to cultivate it because we deserve it. And no matter what they've done, they deserve it too. And so what I would encourage us to do in the coming days, not go hunt this person down and smile at them and see what happens. What I would encourage us to do instead is, in your quiet time, keep practicing. Practice the mudra of smiling. Practice the cultivation of peace. See their face each time that you do it. Sit with their face again and again, and it just might happen that how you see them will begin to change. Your attitude about them and their decisions might begin to shift. Your energy about the whole situation might be transformed. And I say the word might But as someone who has practiced this and is still practicing it with the people that I struggle with, I will tell you it's not a might. It will transform. So trust the experts like Mother Teresa. Trust the legacy of her life and what she showed us and what she taught us. Trust the peace that you know exists in your heart. And then use that smile to express and show to the world what that peace is. And then give yourself grace in the moments that it does get hard. And then come back and try again. Peace begins with a smile. And I'd like to take her statement and add one more line. Peace begins with me. Namaste.